Have you ever experienced a moment where a person, place, or situation felt uncannily familiar? It's as though you've walked through that door, stood on that street, or exchanged those exact words before. While science may dismiss this as a simple glitch in memory, many spiritual traditions see these moments as profound, echoes from your past lives rippling through your consciousness. These are not just fleeting memories, but fragments of a much larger cosmic puzzle, revealing the long and complex journey of your soul. But what if these fleeting glimpses are more than just déjà vu? What if these experiences are breadcrumbs, leading you to the deep, mysterious layers of your spiritual self, a self that has lived, learned, and evolved across dimensions and lifetimes? This idea brings us to the heart of one of the most profound human experiences, reincarnation. To explore this further, let us dive deep into the concept, linking it with the thoughts of one of modern philosophy's most influential figures, Friedrich Nietzsche, and examine how it resonates with his idea of the eternal return, an intriguing intersection of Western existentialism and Eastern spiritualism. Nietzsche first introduced the concept of eternal return in his work, The Gay Science, where he challenges us to consider the possibility of living the same life repeatedly. He describes the greatest weight, a hypothetical scenario where a demon confronts you with the news that you must relive your life in exactly the same way for all eternity. Every heartbreak, every mistake, every fleeting moment of joy would repeat in an endless loop. Nietzsche's challenge lies in the question, could you embrace this repetition? Could you love your life so much that you would accept living it over and over again in all its flawed beauty? The eternal return isn't about reincarnation in the traditional sense. Nietzsche doesn't suggest that we are reborn with a blank slate, as reincarnation is often understood in spiritual traditions. Instead, his idea is that life itself is cyclical, and every moment will repeat ad infinitum. Nietzsche presents the eternal return as a radical test of our ability to affirm life. Can we say yes to the totality of existence without wanting to change even the smallest detail? This philosophy is starkly existential. It forces us to reckon with the idea that if life is an eternal cycle, our actions are eternally significant. Every choice, every behavior is imbued with meaning because it will recur. For Nietzsche, the eternal return compels us to live authentically, free from regret or resentment. Now let's turn to reincarnation, a belief in the soul's journey through multiple lifetimes, accumulating wisdom, facing karma, and evolving spiritually. Reincarnation is a core tenet in Hinduism, Buddhism, and other mystical traditions, where life is seen not as a singular journey, but as part of an endless cycle called samsara, the continuous flow of life, death, and rebirth. The purpose of reincarnation is growth and spiritual awakening. In each life, we carry the lessons learned from previous incarnations, even if we don't consciously remember them. At first glance, Nietzsche's eternal return and the concept of reincarnation might seem worlds apart. Nietzsche's is a closed loop of identical repetition, while reincarnation allows for progress and change across lifetimes. However, both systems offer profound insight into the cyclical nature of existence, the significance of our choices, and the possibility of transcendence. In reincarnation, every action, every thought, every relationship has karmic consequences that ripple through multiple lifetimes. Similarly, Nietzsche's eternal return suggests that every moment is charged with eternal importance. Both ideas offer a cosmic perspective on how we live our lives. In the framework of reincarnation, the soul may return to a new body, facing challenges from a previous life, while Nietzsche asks us to confront the same life, eternally repeating. But the message is similar. Our experiences matter deeply. They shape our journey, whether across lifetimes or within the same eternal cycle. To bridge Nietzsche's eternal return and the philosophy of reincarnation, we must delve into the concept of karma. In spiritual traditions that embrace reincarnation, karma is the law of cause and effect, a moral law that transcends individual lifetimes. It's the universe's way of balancing the scales. If you cause harm, you will experience its consequences in a future life. Conversely, acts of kindness, love, and compassion bring positive karma that influences future incarnations. Nietzsche's eternal return can be viewed as a form of karmic reckoning. If you are doomed to live the same life eternally, Every decision you make carries enormous weight. Nietzsche compels us to live with the understanding that our actions have eternal consequences. The challenge is not just to bear the weight of this knowledge, but to embrace it, to live in such a way that you would be willing to live the same life again, forever. In this sense, the eternal return mirrors the spiritual philosophy of karma. Just as in reincarnation, where each life builds on the last, Nietzsche's recurrence implies that we carry the moral weight of our actions eternally. Both philosophies demand that we confront our choices and strive to live in a way that honors the eternal nature of existence. One of the most common questions posed about reincarnation is this: why don't we remember our past lives? Why are the experiences of previous incarnations locked away, accessible only through deep spiritual practices such as meditation or regression therapy? In contrast, Nietzsche's eternal return implies that we should remember that our choices should carry the weight of eternal recurrence. If we are bound to live the same life eternally, shouldn't we be conscious of that repetition? Here, Nietzsche's philosophy seems to challenge the traditional view of reincarnation. If every moment is fated to recur, Nietzsche asks us to live as though we are aware of this recurrence. This awareness demands a radical form of self-responsibility. To live as if you must endure every moment forever is to live with the constant awareness of the significance of each choice. In reincarnation, while the soul carries the imprint of previous lives, most of us are unaware of this process in our day-to-day lives. Nietzsche, however, wants us to live with a constant awareness of recurrence, which gives life a different sense of urgency and importance. His idea of eternal return is not a passive cycle of rebirth, but an active engagement with the present moment, informed by the weight of eternity. At the heart of Nietzsche's eternal return is the concept of amor fati, the love of fate. Nietzsche urges us to not merely accept the challenges, suffering, and absurdities of life, but to embrace them. To love fate is to say yes to life in all its totality, without wishing for things to be different. This is Nietzsche's solution to the burden of eternal recurrence. If we are to live the same life over and over, the only way to transcend this is through an unconditional love of existence, even in its darkest moments. In reincarnation, the soul's journey is similarly about acceptance and growth. Karma teaches that we must confront the consequences of our past actions and work through them in our future lives. But where Nietzsche diverges from reincarnation is in his radical insistence on embracing the present moment fully, without the hope of future improvement or a better life in the next cycle. For Nietzsche, there is no next life, there is only this life, lived infinitely. This compels us to find meaning and joy in the present, regardless of suffering or hardship. While reincarnation offers the soul multiple lifetimes to learn and evolve, Nietzsche's philosophy presents a more immediate and existential challenge. Can you love this life in its entirety without longing for another chance or a different path? This is the ultimate test of Nietzsche's eternal return, to live in such a way that you would joyfully repeat the same life, now with all its flaws, for eternity. Both Nietzsche's eternal return and the spiritual concept of reincarnation offer a path to transcendence, though in different ways. In reincarnation, the goal is to break free from the cycle of samsara, to achieve spiritual enlightenment and unity with the divine. This release from the cycle of rebirth is the ultimate goal of the soul's journey, freedom from suffering and the limitations of the physical world. In Nietzsche's philosophy, transcendence comes not from escaping the cycle of recurrence, but from fully embracing it. The eternal return asks us to affirm life in all its complexity, to find meaning in the eternal repetition of existence. For Nietzsche, the key to transcendence lies in the power of the will, the ability to say yes to life, even when faced with suffering and hardship. To embrace the eternal return is to transcend the need for change, for improvement, or for another chance. It is to accept life as it is, eternally. Nietzsche's eternal return and the concept of reincarnation offer two profound ways of understanding the cyclical nature of existence. While one is rooted in existential philosophy and the other in spiritual tradition, both compel us to confront the weight of our choices and the eternal significance of our actions. Whether through the karmic lessons of reincarnation or the radical affirmation of Nietzsche's eternal return, we are called to live authentically, embracing life in all its beauty and pain. As we navigate our journey through life, we can choose to see each moment as part of an infinite cycle, whether across lifetimes or within the same eternal loop. And in this cycle, we can find both meaning and transcendence by living with intention, embracing our fate, and loving life in all its eternal glory.